one and only Ezra Charles.
Great to be here, Alex.
Always great to see you. We've only known each other for a little bit, but I've had the pleasure of having him on Texas Songwriters Alliance Audio Impact a few weeks ago, and he's just been an absolute pleasure. We're going to go into a semi-deep dive here, so let's go ahead and get the show on the road, Ezra. So the first question that I have here is, when was the first time you knew you wanted to be a piano player? Do you remember that moment when you first fell in love with music?
Well, I grew up in a musical family, and I took piano lessons, mostly church music. My mother played the piano in church.
Lots of
My
gospel?
father led all the hymn sings, and I started taking piano lessons when I was 8. And I always liked it. I wasn't very good at it for the first 10 years or so. I really wasn't. Mostly because I never practiced. And the piano, it turned out the piano we had at our house was a terrible piano. It sounded, there wasn't anything I could do to make it sound good.
Right.
And so I ended up just not wanting to practice.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And when I left home, I went off to college, I was around a lot of really great pianos. And then I fell in love with playing piano.
Right. You're like, they're in tune.
Yeah.
They're in tune. No, that's good, man. I'll tell you what. Do you have a Janis Joplin's? Wasn't Janis Joplin from?
Well, Janis Joplin was from Port Arthur.
Port Arthur. My
And
bad.
so
My bad.
I never actually met her. She left town about the time that I was in high school. She was just like 2 years older than me.
Right.
She left town and moved to San Francisco. We just never crossed paths.
Right. But yeah, but y'all know.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all
Of
know.
course, I knew who she was.
Right. Your style blends traditional blues with some real Texas flair. How did your environment shape the sound we hear today?
Well, I grew up trying to play rock and roll. I tried to play like Jerry Lee Lewis and Ray Charles, and I played in a couple of bands in high school, most notably with Johnny and Edgar Winter. And I could never find any good guitar players to play with. I got spoiled by getting to play with Johnny Winter first.
Right.
Everything was downhill after that. And it wasn't until I got off to college that I decided what really pushed me over the edge was seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan Show.
That was it.
Anybody that ever saw that, probably is a musician today. I was at a seminar the other day and the guy said, yeah, well, that's why we're all here.
Right.
He was a famous engineer, and the owner of the studio said the same thing.
Sure.
But I grew up looking at superstars like Elvis and thinking, well, he's like a movie star. That's like being a god.
No,
But
yeah.
when I saw the Beatles play, it was like, hey, I could do that.
Right.
And so eventually,
Not a good actor, but you know.
eventually, I started a band in college and had immediate success with that.
Right.
Because I had a bunch of guys with me that were really, really good.
Right. And that made you sound even better.
Yeah. So after I got out of college, I didn't major in music. I majored in electrical engineering. And
Went to
when I
Rice
got out of college,
University.
I thought, well, I can't stop playing in bands now. I've made all these connections. Well, I
Is
didn't
it-
know. I had like 5 connections.
Right.
Yeah, but I just kept going in the music business and it never really stopped.
And he is a Rice owl. Right? Correct?
Yeah.
Rice. It's not the easiest school to get into. I mean, it's known for having some really,
When I
really...
went there, it was actually the second hardest school to get into.
Oh, wow.
The reason was that if you could get in, it was free. There was no tuition if you could get in. So the freshman class, when I entered Rice, was 450, freshman class. They had 24,000 applications they went through to select those 450.
Right.
But almost everybody there was the high school valedictorian.
Sure.
I
Everybody was the top of
salutatorian
their...
at my high school.
Right.
You had a lot of geniuses there that I had to compete with.
Sure.
It was a very tough school.
So it pushed you a little bit.
Well, my big fear was that if I flunked out, I'd have to go home to Beaumont and go to Lamar Tech.
Oh,
So
you
they
didn't
kept
want
me
to do
going
that.
for
That motivated
5
you.
years,
I'm not going back, man.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I'm heading to
flunk
Houston.
out.
That's a really good answer. That's funny. This is a good question here. What was it like to grow up in Beaumont, Texas?
It was idyllic. It was a fantastic place when I grew up there. it was a city, but it wasn't a big city.
Right.
But it had culture. Obviously it had a lot of musical
Yeah.
roots. The reason it had a lot of music, I found out later, was when I was growing up. I didn't even know this, but it had a huge red light district. So anytime you have a city with a lot of corruption, then that
Extracurricular.
generates all kinds of musical things,
Right.
whether it's Chicago or St. Louis or
New York or any of the big
Kansas
cities.
City. That's where all the good music comes in. You have to have a lot of corruption in the
Yeah.
city. When I was in high school, the state of Texas did an investigation, and they ended up throwing out the sheriff and the mayor, and everybody was on the tape.
And
Now I had no idea, But,
he was hanging out with gangsters and didn't
Yeah.
even know it.
yeah.
It is like your piano playing.
But other than that, Beaumont was bigger than most people think. Like we had 6 high schools.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and it
That's a
we
lot.
had shopping centers, and
Sure.
it was a
Did y'all have a
little big city.
Piggly Wiggly? I remember that was his.
Oh yeah, but we had pig stands. That's more important than a Piggly Wiggly.
That was
Pig stand
before.
gave birth to the drive-in restaurant, and we had 4 or 5 of them, and that's where you'd go out in your car and cruise around
Sure,
like
sure.
American Graffiti. You
Right.
drove down the street.
Yeah, everybody's dragging.
Yeah, we had
the strip.
Yeah, we had a drag like that, had a circle at one end, you go down and go around the circle, and then you make your way all the way back and
Right.
pull through the pig stands.
Sure. Grab a bite to eat. Get a shake with your favorite girl,
Yeah,
or check out the girls.
Yeah.
Were they? So were they coming out? Were they coming out like in roller skates? Were they coming out and serving, or was it just pulled up?
they came out, they were on a roller skate, they had car hops, yeah.
Okay.
And they put a tray on your window and
Oh,
put your
yeah.
hamburger.
I remember the Prince's. I still remember Prince's hamburgers. I
Yeah.
always loved that. The shrimp basket. Used to love that. Well, we're moving right along here with the one and only Ezra Charles. Just so glad to be here. This is a question that I've been wanting, and we touched about it a little bit on my other show, Texas Songwriters Alliance Audio Impact. But I believe you went to school with Edgar and Winter.
Yeah, the whole story is I was in the 9th grade, and Johnny and Edgar went to public school that year for the first time. Johnny was 2 years older than Edgar. Johnny was my age, and Edgar was 2 years younger. And they both played guitar at the time. And they came to my school, and the first thing that happened in the school was every homeroom put on a talent show, and they were the stars of their respective
Right.
homerooms. And as soon as I saw these guys, I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be a band here pretty soon.
Oh no, you're initiating it.
Well, I went over to this friend's house because I was trying to learn how to play the guitar. I got my father to get me a guitar, and I went over to his house. And David Holliday was going to show me how to play guitar because he sat next to Johnny Winter in the home room they were in.
Right.
And I went over and I played with him for about an hour, and it was terrible. I couldn't. My fingers were small. I didn't really know how to play. And then I went over to his family's piano and sat down and played my stuff. And David said, "Why are you trying to learn how to play the piano? To play the guitar, you already know how to play the piano. You could just be the piano player in the band." So the next day, I had an audition for Johnny.
Right.
Went to the band hall at the school where there was a piano.
Yeah.
He came in, and David introduced me to him. And I unwittingly did the best thing I could possibly do. I played a song for him that I worked up off a record.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the record because the first side was a guitar instrumental called Raunchy that every guitar player had to know how to play those days.
Right. Right.
And the back side was an organ instrumental called Puddin'. And so I played this, and it was kind of a rudimentary boogie-woogie thing.
But
You want me
you.
to play it for you?
Yes.
This is my audition for Johnny Winter. So he comes over.
His audition for Johnny Winter. Do you remember the year?
Yeah, 1958.
The year my brother. Oh wow.
I played that for Johnny, and he said, "You're in."
You're in.
Now, I found out later, that same record, that same 45, the other side is a guitar song called Raunchy.
Right.
That's the song that George Harrison played for John Lennon to get in the Beatles.
Oh,
The
wow.
other side of the
What,
record.
what a story. You know, I want to, because I am a huge Elvis fan, I want to wait a little bit later before you tell me your Elvis story. I can't wait. I can't wait. I've never heard it. When he
okay.
died in 1977, me and my mom cried in her arms. You know, there was like almost 100,000 people showed up, and a couple of people got ran over at the funeral of Elvis. It's just bad. But yeah, I can't wait to hear your Elvis story. And he has a book with every chapter. I saw on there. I saw the word cream, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And I looked over at him and said, is that Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker, the band? He said, yep, that's it. I got one there too. Okay, all right, enough. You've been described as a showman just as much as a musician. How important is your performance and how you connect with your audience?
Well, one of my problems is I put so much entertainment value into my shows that it distracts people from the music. I mean, I put a lot of work into writing songs. Had an original band for 30 years.
But your showmanship overshadowed the
Yeah,
music.
they didn't even know I played original music. They were so distracted. And I was doing crazy things like having the whole horn section be girls. What's cooler than that, right?
There's
and
nothing
then,
cooler than
and finally, I perfected the art of lighting the piano on fire during the last song.
Right.
Like Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right.
So I did so much stuff like that.
And he got kicked out of House of Blues, too, is what I heard. That's a rumor, something like that.
Well, we were playing at the House of Blues after we won a band contest to go to Memphis to play in
the International
Blues Challenge.
Right, yeah.
And so our going away show was at the House of Blues. And as usual, I lit the piano on fire. And then later, I found out that the corporate headquarters at House of Blues got completely.
You know, that place was built specifically for Live Nation. That House of Blues.
Okay.
They brought in a lot of things, but
yeah.
no fire extinguishers. They're
said,
not ready for you.
Yeah, they said, okay, you're telling me he's banned for life. 2 years later, I played there.
All right.
So
much
long
for your lifelong ban. Yeah, you can't ban Ezra Charles. There's this raw, soulful energy in your songs that I've picked up immediately after listening and having you on my other radio show. Are there any personal stories behind your favorite tracks that you're open to sharing with us?
Well, you know, every one of my songs has a story. I used to tell people, I have a song called Get in Line. And the story of the song is a guy goes out into the town and tries to pick up a girl, and every verse is a different girl he tries to pick up and gets nowhere. And so the way I introduce the song is, I say, well, all of my songs are about real, true experiences that happen to me personally.
Right.
Except this song.
Right.
See, this song's about a guy who couldn't get any action.
That ain't me.
In order to write a song like that, I have to use what songwriters call the hypothetical perspective.
Right.
In other words, I have to imagine what that might be like, because that wouldn't be the case with me.
That's right. You're a cat daddy. I play piano. I can almost, anyway, I'm not good at it, but I figured, you know, when I think of these big entertainers and stuff, I'm almost sure over the years that you've made one or two girls wiggle a little bit differently. I mean, that's just what the music does.
Yeah, that's the objective.
That is.
So, but all of the songs that I write, there's a story behind it. I mean,
sure.
One thing I learned right away, you can't write a good song by imagining what something might happen. The best songs are ones where there's a spark of creativity that arises from a personal experience. And I can't say that I never went out on town and didn't pick up a girl. So
of course not.
I just tell the audience
You're as innocent as newborn babies.
trying to save face and make them think that I'm
that you're not doing that.
Always scored, you know.
Played hard to get, you know.
But,
I can tell you this: if I was a girl and you played piano like that, it'd be no problem. It'd be on.
Okay, that's too much information.
It is too much information. It is, but good is good. We're gonna have one more question for you, and then we're gonna have you play any one of the songs you want to, my friend.
Okay.
So, over the years, the music industry has shifted a lot. What's something you miss about the way it used to be, and what's something you're glad that has changed?
Well, in the early 90s, I almost moved to Nashville. And the reason I did was because I felt like country music at that time was the only place that was glorifying songwriters. That rock music at that point, grunge had just come out, and there wasn't much emphasis on the value of the songs. It was all about a sound and an attitude.
Right.
Whether it was metal or
Attitude and the looks had a lot to do with it.
and so I thought about going country. Garth Brooks was having a lot of success in those days, and he's not really a country singer, you know, he's just a songwriter. So I thought, well, maybe I should move to Nashville. So I actually got a pedal steel guitar player in my band, and we started playing this crazy blues. Now, pedal steel guitar is a great way to play blues. It's the ultimate blues instrument.
Right.
And I loved the combination of pedal steel and piano. And I did that for about 2 years, and then I went to Nashville to try to showcase. But they couldn't understand what I was trying to do, so I went back home and got a regular guitar player again.
Right.
But at that point,
They didn't know what to do. They were like,
yeah,
almost like that guy, Earl something or whatever. They couldn't do anything with this guy. What's his name? Earl Keynes or something. No, that's not him. But anyway, yeah. So,
now
so you only went there for a couple of years.
I'm glad to see the value of the songwriters come back. You know who brought it back? Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift brought back the art of songwriting.
Yeah.
And there may be people that don't pay much attention to her, but there are a lot of people that do.
Well,
And I
she's
think
there
that
and we're here. I respect the fact that.
Yeah, if you don't understand how good a songwriter she is, you're not paying any attention.
No, you're not. You're not. And whatever side of the aisle you're on, that to me, that's irrelevant in reference to the musical talent.
Yeah.
I'm able to separate it. I've got 2 radio shows and a podcast. Zero politics. It's all about the talent, all the fellowship, just all of the wonderful things that come with music. Why don't you play us a song? Because that's what we've been telling us.
I just have, in the last few weeks, I've released a vinyl record for the first time. I put out 10 CDs over the course of my career, and so I went through them and I picked out the best dozen songs that I wanted people to pay attention to. Yeah, like, you know, maybe you didn't hear this song the first time around, but I think you'll listen to it now. And one of the songs I picked on the record was Bolivar Ferry.
Right.
Because it's my best story song as far as having a plot and a scene.
There's a girl involved.
Well, I have a book that I write down ideas for songs and just phrases. And I probably had the phrase Bolivar Ferry written in the songbook for 10 years. So I finally, whenever I get the urge to write a song, that I get the book out and start looking at all these ideas. And if I get motivated, well, then I write a song. And I eventually wrote the song Bolivar Ferry. But once again, that's a true experiences. And in the case of this song, it's about impressing girls with a free cruise. You
ferry ride.
Bolivar Ferry, it's free.
Yeah.
I like to tell a story about a girl from Amarillo that was visiting Houston. And she was in high school going to college next year. She had never seen the ocean before. So I thought it'd be a good idea to take her down and go for a ride on the Bolivar Ferry.
Well, you seduced her.
She thought she was on a cruise ship. And so this worked out so well, I'm thinking, you know, I should do this more often.
Right.
So I started doing it on a regular basis.
The Bolivar effect.
But anyway, one time I got into some trouble. So that was what this song was about.
Okay.
And so I'll play you that song.
Bolivar Ferry, Ezra Charles. Like and follow.
I
that song. I've just gone over the ferry so much, and God, so much emotional content in that song. Great stuff. Charles before, and you could play them just one song to capture your essence. Which one would it be, and why? That would be could be
that's
one.
a pretty good example, but it's not quite as rocking as the thing I think that really. I've got a song, and of course it's a song that's on new vinyl.
Okay.
It's called "Knock on My Door," and it really gets up and rocks out. It's kind of a Little Richard song. I was thinking about Little Richard when I wrote it.
Yeah.
I used to have a girlfriend that I was trying to break up with this girlfriend, and she would come over to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning when the clubs closed. I'd be in bed, and
I
she'd
know
come
what that's
over.
call.
I'd hear her knocking on my door, and I have to go down and open the door. There she'd be, ready to get it on. So,
Ready to hang out with you.
So I wrote that song, "Knock on My Door," for her.
Okay. Well, look. Let's go ahead and let me ask you one more question, and then play it while it's still fresh in our mind.
Okay.
You go with that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. All right. You shared stages with some legendary acts. Is there a memory from touring that sticks with you? One that maybe changed how you see music or people?
Well,
You played with a lot of
we've played on a
legends.
lot of festivals with a lot of huge acts. 5 times we got to go to Italy and play on a festival over there called Umbria Jazz.
Awesome.
And so Umbria is a state in the middle of Italy.
Right.
It's kind of a mountainous region, and the main city is Perugia. And they have a jazz festival there every year in the summer. And we got to go there 5 different years. And even though it's called a jazz festival, like a lot of jazz festivals, the big draws are not necessarily
Jazz
jazz
artists,
bands.
yeah.
Steely Dan played, Prince played,
Oh, wow.
Tony Bennett played.
Wow.
Of course, they had a lot of blues, like B.B. King played there, George Benson.
George
and,
Benson.
Then they had some true jazz. Wynton Marsalis brought in Lincoln Center Orchestra that he runs.
I like that guy, that Stanley Jordan guy that does that.
Yeah.
He's really
And
good.
they did a tribute to Miles Davis one year.
Oh, wow.
Where a trumpet player played like the Miles Davis part, and everybody else in the band was Miles Davis's band.
Right.
So yeah, that was an opportunity to hang out with some heavy cats.
Well, why don't we hear this song that we were just talking
You
about?
want to hear "Knock on My Door"?
Knock on My Door.
Okay.
Knock it out, Ezra.
It kind of loses a little bit without any drums going on. I wish my
Right.
son was here to back me up on
Well,
this.
one day we will have him here.
All right. Well, I'm bed sleeping just a little to the well when I hear a little tapping at my 2 o'clock girl. Just a knock on my door. Yeah, just a knock on my door.
I almost was ready to give him a fist bump. I was going to go give him one anyway, dude. So, oh my God. So Kim was over there going like, shaking her head like, what the heck?
Dance music. Ooh, like
Oh
swing.
my God, what was that, a cup of coffee or something?
Well, so
man?
like that, you gotta imagine the drums are going all the time. You
Oh
know,
my
so-
God. And now you have your son, and he's a really great drummer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we're moving along here with the one and only Ezra Charles on Let's Rock. So, this is one that I like a lot here. Who are some of your favorite performers to see live, past or present?
Well, I learned a lot from watching other people play. Of course, I would go to concerts to make notes in my head.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, I saw Dr. John one time,
Wow.
and the next to the last song he played,
New Orleans guy, right?
yeah,
Okay.
the next to the last song he played was a slow song called Such a Night. And I realized that's a really effective way to end a concert is to play a slow song and then play a really rocking song at the end. It's a big contrast.
Right,
And it
right,
also
right.
kind of
It
lets
shakes
you
it
know when
up.
it's almost over.
Yeah.
The other thing that was a big influence on me, it would probably surprise you, is Madonna. What Madonna did with her shows, she would take her songs, and by the sequence of songs, they told the story in themselves. So constructing a concert, it's kind of like constructing a song that has a plot.
Yeah.
You can construct a concert where it all has a plot. It's just leading somewhere, you know.
Right.
And I got a big kick out of that. I would go on stage for pretty big concerts with no idea in advance what I was really going to do. And
Right.
of course, the band didn't know either. We just
Right.
go out there.
Let's
and
just
as
follow Ezra.
I would respond to the vibe of the crowd, and I would tell a story like I have a song about Beaumont and the musicians, so I'd play that, and I'd play Oliver Ferry, and then I'd go on to tell the whole story with a concert.
Yeah.
And that the first time I realized you could do that was watching Madonna, of all
Right.
people.
Right. Right. No, she's
And
she's an amazing businesswoman. She signed
yeah,
a progressive rock band. A lot of people don't know that she
she
was.
wrote a lot of her own songs.
Yeah,
Most
and
people
she
don't know
also
that.
was the majority owner of Maverick Records, and they signed other bands that had nothing to sound like her. So it just
Yeah.
shows you her
Yeah.
business sense. So a famous
Yeah.
band who sold about 10, 20 million records called Candlebox, I couldn't believe it. Was like, oh yeah, Madonna signed this band. No, not any kind of music, completely different. But
Yeah.
Madonna's
Yeah.
a businesswoman. This is another really good question. What is your favorite country to play in? Is it-
Country?
No, country to play in. Like
Yeah. Well, I had a time playing in Italy for a very simple reason, and that is everybody there doesn't speak English, and I'm very limited if I can't set up the songs.
Right.
I do best, especially in a concert, where I tell enough about a song that the audience knows what they're getting ready to listen to. That's really hard to do in a foreign country.
Mm.
We played a concert in Ecuador one time, and it was the same kind of thing. So I do best when I play in English-speaking places.
Right. But you know what? I'm sure the music is like that international language. Good is good in whatever language. Like me, sometimes, I can't understand as much Spanish as I wish I could, but it's still beautiful. You know, when I hear, like for instance, Jose
Yeah.
Feliciano.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, just absolutely amazing. Let me ask you one more, because we definitely want to hear you play some more, because it's been so exciting to do this. And like you said, like and follow Ezra Charles. He has a brand new vinyl record out. It's got 10 tracks on it.
12.
12 tracks.
That's hard to do because a vinyl record, you can only get 21 minutes on each side.
Oh,
So
wow.
to get 6 songs, I had to leave out a lot of songs that I would have liked to have included because they were more than 3 minutes long.
But you didn't have the time. Or you didn't have the
So
space.
in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to put out a volume 2 in a few months. That'll be all the songs that got left off of volume 1 because they were too long.
Right.
So it won't be 12 songs. It'll probably be 9
Right.
or
I'm
8.
trying to talk him into doing another Christmas special. But he's already done that. He said, Alex, I've been there, I've done that. I've done 2 or 3 of them. Something like
Well,
that.
I've never put out a CD or a record of Christmas songs.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't got to that yet.
That would
I've
be
been planning it
amazing.
for years.
You're
but I
not gonna
haven't-
hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh my gosh. I want to sing backup vocals on Ezra. Anyway,
No, I
here,
could
here we
play
go.
Santa Claus is coming on a boogie woogie choo choo train.
Right. Frosty the Snowman. I mean, there's so many you go. Silent. I mean, you know what? I think we ought to do this. You know, and you know what you do? No, you do a Christmas album, and you invite some of the cats that you know, or I mean, just maybe some star players, you know. But it's you, but it's Ezra Charles and friends.
Yeah.
This is an idea. Great Christmas stocking stuffer,
Yeah.
definitely for sure. We're moving right along. We're getting really close to what I call the lightning round. So those will be some real quick fire questions coming at you like a Japanese bullet train, my friend. So prepare yourself. How do you approach songwriting? Is it inspiration first, or do you start with the rhythm or lyric and build from there?
Well, most of my songs were written because I had some time and I thought, I feel like writing a song. And I'm usually prepared for it because maybe I have an idea for a song that I haven't written yet. I wrote a song 2 nights ago. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and decided to go in and write a song I've been thinking about for weeks and months.
Right.
And I managed to write it, but I just wrote the words. I haven't written the music yet. Usually I'll sit down and I'll write out the entire lyric without really having a real music song. Almost all songs are written to kind of a dummy song. Like I read that when Paul McCartney wrote Yesterday, it was the other way around. He had the music first and didn't have any words. So he wrote the song called Scrambled Eggs instead of Yesterday.
Wow.
And scrambled eggs, baby, how I love your legs. That was his original song. And then eventually he got around to writing the lyrics.
Right.
With me, it's the other way around. Usually I have an idea of a song, and so I end up writing all the music, the words first. And I'm kind of have a rhythm pattern because it's a poem and it has to fit a rhythm.
Right, sure.
And then later I will compose music and try to do something
Piece it
unique.
together.
Something. Every time I write a song, I try to write a song that doesn't sound like any song I've ever written. The worst thing you can do as a songwriter is play a show and everybody says, well, that's good, but all your songs sound alike. Well, I make sure that never happens by making sure that every time I write a new song, it's so different from anything I've written before that nobody can possibly say that.
Right.
I mean, I wrote a Latin song one time called, there used to be a lady here named Elvia.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of her. She had a club called Elvia's.
I've heard of them.
And we played there. So I wrote a song called Elvia Has Left the Building. Which I heard.
I get it.
But so I wrote a song the other night called We Met Online. And this is a story I've been telling a lot of people about how I met my current wife.
Right.
That we met online.
Sure.
But then you find out in the story that it was at Walgreens in the line. But I managed to get the whole story down into a song. So now I just got to write the music to it.
Right. Then you'll be ready to go. And you know what? While I'm here, before I forget, so his book, Backstories. When did that come out? That book.
I wrote that in 2022 during the pandemic.
Right, and every chapter is about an experience he had with a famous person. So the one I'm most curious about, because I'm one of his biggest fans and I just absolutely love him so much, I named my cat after him. The one and only King. Can you tell us your experience with Elvis?
Yeah, growing up in Beaumont, my father was a huge country and western swing fan. In fact, for years, my sister and I thought there was something wrong with our father because music would come on the radio, and in the middle of the song, out of nowhere, he'd go, "Oh," and we couldn't imagine why he was doing that, but that's a Bob Wills thing that he does in the middle of songs.
Right.
So he would take us to these shows, I went to a Johnny Cash show that was in the baseball field at Beaumont, and my father had a. I thought he was going to get in a fight because this guy kept walking through the stands going, "Get your cold beer, get your cold beer." It's like they're playing on stage, and my father started yelling at him like,
Shut
"It's in
up.
the ball game,
Right.
Shut up."
Yeah.
Anyway,
I brought my own peanuts.
every year the Beaumont Fire Department would throw a huge Grand Ole Opry style show.
Sure.
So when I was in third grade, we went to the show in the city auditorium. I got to sit pretty close to the front, and one of the minor acts was a group that only had one hit record that had just come out.
That's all you need.
It was "That's All Right, Mama." So it was Elvis and Scotty and bass player.
Right. He's got an awesome guitar player.
So it's a trio, and they came out and played a set.
Did you see this set?
Yeah, of course I was there. I was like 20 feet away watching.
Right. Your first time to see Elvis.
Yeah, and this is virtually Elvis has just been performing
Just a few months.
for a year maybe.
Maybe.
And he was way down the bill. They had like a dozen acts.
Were they on a tractor trailer thing?
No, it was a regular stage in the city auditorium.
Okay.
But the bass player, stand-up bass player, would jump up on the side and stand on his bass on the side of it.
Like the guys in the Stray Cats.
And it was really good, and I was very impressed. I wasn't surprised at all that he became a superstar because I saw him in his embryonic state.
Right, but was he already gyrating, and were girls already kind of like going a little bit? Did you get a little bit? Because I know sometimes the cops were down on that.
They didn't know they were supposed to go crazy yet. So they liked it, but
Elvis and
it was
Pelvis.
a family show.
For a little did they know.
And most people were probably there to see Johnny Cash.
Sure, of course.
Porter Wagoner or somebody.
Oh, right. Big names.
So he was just a minor opening act. That's the first time I ever
Little
saw him.
did they know.
And I saw him several times later.
Right. Amazing. I saw him in I think it was whenever he played the Astrodome the first time.
Okay.
Dropped us off there
At
and
the
he
rodeo?
played. At the
I saw him
rodeo.
play at Hoffa's Pavilion about a year before he died.
Oh wow.
That was a white jumpsuit with the big collar.
That was '76 then because he died in
At
'77.
that point, his star had sunk so low that people were not really all that excited about him.
Oh.
It wasn't until after he passed away that he became a god.
Resurgence, right?
Towards the end there,
Right.
he was on the fat side. And
And he was
people
people.
all heard it.
His
before.
Memphis Mafia didn't really care about it. They were
Yeah.
just like everybody else that got money. There's all this. Everybody wants. We got a couple of more questions I want to ask. This one, and I was wondering. I keep forgetting the name of it. The movie Night.
The Night Game.
Or could you play Night?
Sure.
That is such a beautiful song. So
Let me set it up.
yeah, please set it up.
We played a lot of weddings, which is very weird because we were a band that played original material. And if somebody had told me early on that you could play a wedding at all, I'd say there's no way. Who wants a wedding band that plays songs you don't?
That's a
never
thing
heard
now,
before?
right?
But we played hundreds of weddings, but this particular one, the girl had been a bridesmaid in some other girl's wedding in
Wow.
Refugio.
Right.
And so then when she got married, she hired us for her wedding. And it was Mary Stuart Masterson, the girl that played in Fried Green Tomatoes and a bunch of other movies. That was at the peak of her career. And it was at the Junior League here in Houston. Amazingly enough, it was not a celebrity scene at all.
Right.
The Masterson family is Houston old money.
Right.
And her father, Pete Masterson, had decided to be a movie director, and he directed one movie that was a pretty big hit called A Trip to Bountiful, and it was a book by Horton Foote. And then he got a chance, he was making another movie, and he called me up, and it was being shot in Galveston, and it was a detective movie starring Roy Scheider as a detective.
Right.
And Pete Masterson's wife was the female lead in the movie.
Okay.
His daughter wasn't in it, just she was. And he called me up and said he needed some music for the movie. He actually was trying to work us as a band into the plot of the movie as they were shooting it.
Right.
But
Never happened.
it was very short notice, we couldn't do that.
Right.
But I did write a song for him. He said, well, here's what I need. I need a love theme to be the movie opening music. A love theme, and the movie is kind of about baseball, so it needs to have some baseball references for this slasher movie. And the movie starts out in the Astrodome, and the Astros are playing.
Right.
And then as the movie develops, they're trying to catch this guy, and it turns out the guy that's the troublemaker was an ex-Astros pitcher, but he had been in a car wreck and lost a hand and had a hook instead of a hand. That's a nice scary touch.
Right.
So every time the Astros won a night game in the Dome, he would strike on the beach.
Oh, that was his thing.
And so that was what the movie was about. He said, okay, I need a love theme with baseball references for a slasher movie.
Has to be the first one ever.
You know, I always wanted to write movie music. I'm a huge fan of Henry Mancini.
Oh my gosh.
He wrote dozens of things, you know, for movies and TV
Right,
shows.
right.
So this is the song I wrote called The Night Game.
Night Game. Ezra Charles.